Hello guys, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, back again with another review video for you, easy for you to say. And basically here we have the Airfix 1/24 scale Spitfire Mk.IXc. Now, as we all know, Tamiya came out with a 32nd scale Spitfire Mk.IXc back many years ago, and it's for many people been, you know, in the top 5 kits ever produced. This looks like it could also get into that category from what I've seen. I don't generally watch reviews of kits until I have them myself, so that I don't get sort of driven down a path. But my good friend Andy Richards has been in touch. He got his last week because he ordered direct from Airfix, and he gave me a couple of tips. And one of the tips was go through the instructions before you do the review, because there's a hell of a lot of it. There's 250 steps or something in the instructions. And the other thing is, he said take the lid off the box off camera, because certainly on his example he said it took him something like 5 minutes to get the lid off. So that was interesting. This one I've been waiting for, had a notification from John over at Scale Model Shop that it was coming today, so really pleased to get it. DPD have just been literally 5 minutes ago, and I was very disappointed to receive this. And as you can see, this box has been quite severely crushed. So I'm just hoping the kit is okay inside, because to wait this long and then have it damaged is going to be a real pain. I think we should be okay, because it feels like it's all loose. It doesn't feel, I'm not, if I was pushing it and I could hear with sprues going up against each other, then that would be a pain in the ass. If the decals are ruined because they're in the bottom of the box facing up, which, as you know, is a pet hate of mine, I should be well pissed off. We shall see. But anyway, I'm going to get this open now, and then we'll get to the bench and we'll have a look at what we got inside. Just before we get to the bench, just want to show you one thing that I've noticed. And don't worry, this is not, this video is not about knocking Airfix at all, because I know some of you are going to think I'm knocking them straight away. I'm not, it's an observation. Remember the old kits like this that we love, the old Typhoon? Beautiful old kit, yeah, great big box. Very strong, very solid, very thick box. The Spitfire, now if I can try and show you this size wise, if I can pick them both up together, you'll also see that at the bottom of the box we have that beautiful embossed Airfix sign. But you can see here the difference in the size. The Spitfire box is tiny in comparison. The other thing we noticed straight away is, I wish they hadn't crushed it. It's really annoying. But the other thing we notice is the cardboard is much thinner. So therefore, whereas this got crushed, this one wouldn't, because this one is really thick and strong, really strong, and that one is very soft indeed. There we go. Very soft indeed. So they may have some issues with packaging. Having said that, that box has been squashed within an inch of its life, and the parts inside on first inspection appear to be absolutely fine. So now we can get to the bench and have a look. I've had a look inside the box, I've had a look through the instructions, and yeah, there's a lot to it. Okay, so here we are finally at the bench, and this is actually the 3rd time I'm filming this. I've got like 10 seconds into the filming and started coughing. It's like, argh! So if you keep seeing edited sort of stops, that's why. So anyway, here it is. It's a lovely size box. It's like the sort of size you get a large 35th scale tank, you know, something like a Tiger tank with full interior or something. It's nice. It's a nice size box, and it's not too glossy as well, which is good for the reviewers. Beautiful artwork on the front. Really beautifully done. If you get the kit direct from Airfix, you get a poster of that as well, apparently, while stocks last. But it's, yeah, it's beautiful. So the kit number is A17001. And it's just given us all different languages across there. I thought it was going to say not suitable for children under 2 days or something. So looking around the box here, we've got on the side, we've got some CAD images there. And then we have some warnings, not suitable for children under 36 months. I was just saying, please remove all packaging before giving the toy to a child. Don't know why they say that. Cartograph decals, which is really good to know. And here's the biggie: designed and manufactured in the UK. Now, I have spoken to Dale over at Airfix. I was in fact invited to go and see the moulding of this kit on Monday just gone. And I actually turned them down because of the distance and everything, and it would have been like a very long day. So, and I'm glad I did, because at the moment I've got this horrible stinky cold, and I wouldn't have let it go, because otherwise I'd have given it to everybody. And Les over at Moss Models, he was said it would have been great to spend the day together. Never mind. Hey, we'll do the next one. So yeah, made in the UK. The model is designed in the UK. The tooling was designed in the UK. And the model is being manufactured in the UK, packed in the UK. So really, really back in Britain with this one. And you can see on there, hobby designs and everything, made in UK. Context may vary from those illustrated. Well, there's none illustrated. So anyway, as I say, CAD images on there. End of the box, same sort of thing. We've got a nice image there, which is would make another lovely poster. And then here on the side of the box here, this is another thing that Airfix do, and it's really, really good. People often wonder why they do it. This is why. Okay, it's great. So you look at the side of the box, you look at the front of the box, and you turn it over, and we can look at the side of the box. And it's great for reviewers, because normally I'll be having to turn this around now. So you can see we've got 5 options in the box. We've got a Mk.IXc, flown by Squadron Leader Johnny Plagius, is that? Sorry if I've ruined your name. That's the in England, Devon, England, July 1944. Number 126 Squadron, Royal Air Force Harrier, Persian Gulf. And then B is again, it's a 9C, flown by Flight Lieutenant Ian Kelty, 402 Squadron, City of Winnipeg, Royal Air Force, Kenley, Surrey, England. That's March 43. We've got Spitfire 9C by Johnny Johnson, number 402 Squadron, City of Winnipeg, Royal Air Force, Kenley, Surrey, England, summer 1943. I've been to Winnipeg, stopped over there once in a 747 just for a refuel, and my God, they opened the door. I've never seen snow going horizontal like that. Excuse me. Spitfire 9C, flown by Captain Garth Jarrett, Commanding Officer, 309th Squadron, 31st Fighter Group, United States Army Air Force, Italy, December 43. That is probably the version I'll do, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Spitfire 9C, GR233, Savoy, Arne de l'Air, Brain, France. I'm not going to try and mess that up anymore. But that's your clip wing version. But it's got some lovely schemes on it, some lovely colours and stuff. So we'll have a good look at that in a minute. And then on the box, we have the back of the box, we have that embossed Airfix logo, which is very nice. So, looking in the box, mine is actually quite easy to get the lid off, probably because it's all crushed. So there we go. So that's the, and then inside the box we have this packaging, which has been talked about by a lot of people, and I think it's a bloody great idea. The paper allows the sprues to slide around against each other, but there's no damage. Nothing's going to come through and get scratched, we hope. And when you think of this one being crushed like it has been, it's great. So, and also it's better for the environment. A piece of paper, better for the environment than plastic bags, whatever you look at. So we've got the wing section there, and then we've got the paper, and then we've got the upper wings and the spar. Don't worry, we'll have a good look at these in a minute. And then another piece of paper. Then we've got our fuselage sections, which just seem tiny, don't they, for a 24 scale kit. Fuselage sections there. We've got the engine cowling, clear parts, and then we've got some bags of sprues here. So there's 2 sprues in that bag. There's, it looks like 5 sprues in that bag, but you could say it's 2. And there's 2 sprues in that bag. And then this one at the bottom all on its own, with the spinner and the prop blades and everything in there. And then we have the instructions, which is mega. It's 244 steps. We're going to look at those in a second. And we have the beautiful decal sheet in the bottom of the box, face up. And even with all that damage, they're perfect. And they are absolutely stunning. Gorgeous. We'll have a look at those in a minute. And there's our box. So we can put that down there. So, without further ado, let's have a look at the instructions. So, typical Airfix sort of instructions, flat paper, no glossiness or anything, which is great, thank you very much. And we've got some history of it there. Basically, the Mark 9 was a Mark 5 with a bigger engine. It was like the GT Mark 5. And it was released around about July 42, I believe. And it was all done in the response to the Luftwaffe coming out with the FW190, it was so much faster than the Mark V, and the Mark 8 was in development, but they just rushed this out to get it done. And it tells you all about stuff in here, but I had a quick look on the internet this morning to get some bits about it. And the C denotes the wing style. So this is the apparently the most common wing style. So I had two 20mm cannons and four 303 Browning machine guns in the wings. So that is the C type. I've also found out there is an F, an H and an L. And the L is low altitude, F is a fighter, and H is a high altitude. But they're not denoting that here. I'm guessing this is an F because it's a fighter. But there we go. So here we've got some colour schemes. We'll look at those in a minute. So we've got the instructions here, as I say again, beautifully done in this nice flat paper, no glossiness. Colour call-outs here, all done in Humbrol paints. So I don't use Humbrol paints personally, but I will be going through and doing some reference changes to Tamiya paints. I tend to use pretty much Tamiya LP paints these days. But for instance, with the cockpit green, I use XF71 and lighten it down with XF21, is it? Or XF76, I can't remember now. Just to make it a bit lighter. So there we go. So we've got here all the different languages going through, all the different languages up here, and then we've got our assembly icons. We've got do not cement, final location, so that's where you see in the instructions you've got the red, you can see there. Options, double up, so that might, same as repeat on the other side. Paint codes, cut, drill, file, add weight, which we probably won't have in here. Crystal parts, so you can see normal parts have got a white circle around them, crystal parts have a black circle around them, and then the red square is denoting decals. And the assembly phase, that's that bit up there in the corner. And then here it's telling you cement. So if you've got a number which is just in a sort of white circle like that, that just means glue it together. So that's the most common. So going into the book, and it is a book. It's really nice quality paper as well, it's quite thick. So it starts off with decal placement within the cockpit. So you've got individual instrument decals. Now I'm not sure, what have they done here? Have they done the same? No, they haven't. If you remember on the Mosquito and I think on the Hellcat, they did the decals reverse. So they went on the back of the, what was the Typhoon? They go on the back of the instrument panel. You've got that great big thick plastic on the front. They've made these the proper way around, so you just put them on. So that's much, much better. Thank you, Airfix. So they're giving you all the instrument panel decals there. That looks like the compass. Not exactly sure what that is. That looks like maybe the side of the compass. And then we've got placards for all sorts of controls and everything. Placards in there, stenciling for our, what's this? Oil, grease, oxygen bottles, isn't it? Some other bits and pieces there. We've got placards for the entrance doors. And then we've got a placard there going inside the cockpit. So you're fully covered there. As long as the decals are good, they're cartographed, so they will be. No need for any aftermarket. So putting the seat together, this is the composite seat, which was made of Bakelite, and it's mounted on an aluminium frame. So you can see there where it's got the painting instructions, which is really nice. And what Humbrol do, they call out the colour. Okay, so I would suggest photocopying this, or even cutting it out maybe, and sticking it on the wall in front of you, and then you've got that as a reference, because all they'll give you here is a number, which if you don't use Humbrol paints, you won't ring your bell. If you had it with XF, if it said XF1, you know it's flat back. If it was XF, X13 or something, you know it's blue. But basically they're giving you the code there, but they do actually colour the bristles of the brush. You can see on there, they actually colour the bristles of the brush in the paint colour you need. Okay, so that's a really nice touch. So putting the seat together there, adding in the frame into the back, and then putting the armour plate down the back. That's going to be green, that's going to be cockpit green. Then we've got here some plastic belts. So you may want to use the plastic belts, probably shave the edges down, thin them down a bit, or you may want to get aftermarket belts. But if you're going to build this out of the box, then go with the plastic belts. They're going to look absolutely fine. You've got the handbrake on the side there. No, it's not a handbrake. I think it's a seat lowering and heightening mechanism. And then you have the, that's going to be some sort of coil there going into the back of the first bulkhead behind the pilot. And then you've got the plate going on there, and then you're fixing that into the back of the seat. It's all very nice. Adding in some support into the floor underneath, so you've got a fully detailed floor, which is where your column and everything's going to come from, and this is going to be the bottom of your bulkheads, or formers, whatever you want to call them. They're giving you some lovely detailed painting instructions here for the control levers and handles going into the side of the cockpit. All of this is beautifully called out. We're all moaning about these Chinese kits coming out these days, no colour call outs, you've got to do all your references. That is all there, and I'm sure Airfix will have referenced the living daylights out of this, because they know damn well there's people out there, yes, like me, oh, I don't think that should be that colour, I think that should have been green. Oh, but they've referenced the living daylights out of this, so if anybody sees anything that's wrong, then put it in the comments below. There's your compass going on there, and it looks like we've got a choice of two different instrument panels. It looks like one has got moulded on dials and one doesn't, so let's have a very quick look, and we can see there, yeah, we've got that one there has no dials on it at all, and that one there has got moulded on dial details. So you may wish to use that one with the decals to give it some texture, but I would probably just use the decals and then put some clear over them. So there we go, so you've got a choice of two instrument panels there, which is great, thank you Airfix. So you'll have a spare one for your other Mark V, the old Mark V if you've got one. And then we've got that instrument panel there with its former going in, with the holes there for the pilot to put his feet through. Then we've got the unit going in the side there, I'm not sure if that's throttle or whatever it is going in the side there. And then we've got the rudder pedals with their mechanism, their hydraulics going in. Adding in the actual sliders for the rudder pedals by the look of it there, and then we've got the forward bulkhead there with the cutouts for the pilot's feet, fitting the seat in, fitting in the formers behind. I've got a feeling all of this up to that bulkhead between the instrument panel and that bulkhead would be green, and everything behind would be silver or aluminium or aluminum if you're in America, but I'm going to call it aluminium because this is a British plane and it's a British channel in Britain from Gloucester. So we're going to add these parts in there. Then we've got moulded again. We've got moulded plastic seat belts, which, as I say, if you shave the sides, thin them out, they're good. I've seen them used in the Hellcat, and they look bloody lovely. Not these, the Hellcat ones. They didn't use Spitfire belts in the Hellcat. So we've got a control column there going in, and you've got the little trigger there for the brake, which is beautiful by the separate little part by the look of it. And then adding the column in, oxygen bottles going in. As I say to all my people, whenever you're watching my videos, go through the instructions. That's a prime candidate for bits to glue together first. And then when you get to this step, you'll have those glued together, ready to clean the seam up. And you won't have to glue them together and then wait for ages for the glue to dry before you can carry on. We have here 3 different options of throttle lever configurations. It looks like it's just... No, they are different parts. Those two there are the same, but that's a different part. So you can see here, Airfix have really researched this. They've done really, really well. So, yeah, looking forward to putting all this together, actually. Because we can just follow all this, I think, and it's going to be... And all the different colours is just going to all pop. And then with a bit of dry brushing and a wash, it's going to look absolutely lovely. And then adding in the side panel there to the cockpit, making a complete little cell of your cockpit there. Put it to one side, and then get on with the fuselage here. Kind of a la what Tamiya did with the 32nd scale one. They've got a separate piece there for the tail, although with the Tamiya one it's a complete separate piece. And the fit on the Tamiya kit on that part is the best fitting kit part I've ever seen. But that border model Stuka is very, very close. Be interested to see the fit on here. I'll bet it's bloody lovely. Here we've got a template. Now, if you're building it with the canopy in the closed position, use part N4 as a jig to cut away and file away the highlighted area in green. Now, I'm really glad they've done this, because it's one thing that's missing on the Hellcat. There's no detail around for the canopy to run on. But they've done this. They've left that runner in place. Okay. But because of scale thicknesses and everything, on the real aircraft, that runner would be like an aluminium section, and on the bottom of the canopy would be an aluminium section that engages with it, so they would slide over each other like that. But to make that in plastic, even if 24 scale, it would be microscopically thin and break. So what they've done, they've given us that runner, if you're having the canopy open, and then if you're having the canopy closed, to enable you to fit it down properly, you cut that away. Now, I would probably build this with the canopy closed, because the bubble on a Spitfire canopy is so beautiful why have it open? It just looks so nice up against the windscreen. But what they've done here, they've thoughtfully given us a jig. You can tape that into place, mark around and cut and file. So well done Airfix, brilliant bit of design work there. We got our spare bulbs here going in the side, so they're going to be left clear. I would probably put some white paint on them just to make them pop a bit. And then we've got little panels going in the sides here again. You've got all the colour call-outs. Really, really nice. Loving this. Cockpit going in the side there. And then we've got this unit going in the side here. So it's just awesome, this kit. Really, really nice. And then we've got an oxygen tank, or the oxygen, what's it called? I can't think what it's called. Atomizer or mixer, I can't think what it's called now. Basically that's going in there with the pipe coming out, and that's just going to hang in the cockpit waiting for the pilot to plug it into his mask. So that's really nice. They're telling you to paint that matte 33, matte black, which is correct. But if you really want to make it pop, do it like a very, very thin coat of dark green over the top, because all the oxygen pipes I've seen, they always seem to have this kind of very, very dark greeny grey hue to them, and it'll really make it pop against the other black parts. That's just my little tip. And then we've got some more bits here going in the side. And then we've got the, that's a battery I think going in the back there. Or could it be radio gear? I'm not sure. I think it's probably a battery. With a shelf there for it to go in. Then we got the tail wheel bay going in there. That's going to be painted 11 inside, so that's silver. And then here we've got 3 build options for the door. So you can have the door closed with the canopy closed. You can have the door closed with the canopy open, or you can have the door open and the canopy open. You won't have the door open with the canopy closed. Why would you? And I would assume, is there a separate door? It's a different door, okay. Because I was just thinking that top ledge there would have to be removed, but they're definitely actually giving you a different door. So you've got part N11 there, that's part N13, and then we've got part N12 if you're having it open. They've really gone to work with this kit. Bloody hell. Thank you Airfix, you've done a great job. Fitting in this part here, this is going to go into the front. This is the actual firewall for the engine, and they're telling you some aircraft are aluminium 56 instead of cockpit green. Paint it green, it'll look better. So then we're putting the fuselage halves together, so very nicely done. And then going over the page here, page 12, here we go. Control surfaces going in. We've got separate elevators, separate trim tabs in the elevators, and they're telling you not to glue them in. Hopefully there'll be a nice fit so they don't all just fall flat. Fitting the tail planes, fitting in the elevators, and then fitting the rudder with the trim tab, adding that into the kit. Do you get an option to have that moving? It looks like you probably don't. And it looks like you don't have an option to have these moving either. You fix them in position. I guess you could put some wire in there or something and have them moving if you want to, but you've got the option to actually position them, so you can just glue them in solid. So they're not movable. And then you've got the actuator there going on for the rudder, so you wouldn't want it movable because that would just break off anyway. Remove the area highlighted in green for the lower wing, B1, starboard side only. So not exactly sure what that's all about. Normally they would tell you a reference to that, but they're just telling you to do it. So just do it, they're telling you. And they've got the main spar here, which is looking nice and strong. Undercarriage mounts going in there, which look nice and strong. And then coming over here, very, very thoughtfully thought out. We have, they're telling us to use the sub-assembly 56 and part F33 as an alignment. So you're going to fit your sub-assembly here. You've got your spar going in there. You're going to drop that into the wing. You're going to drop these ribs in here. Okay, and then you're going to fit F59 to the wing, but you're not going to glue it to that spar. So you're fitting them in, dry fitting them, and then fitting all these parts in. So they're basically doing it the same way as I would do the Tempest, by putting everything in the wing and then build it up, rather than as they do in the instructions. So you're dry fitting all those spars in and that, building up your undercarriage bay, just like that with a rib, and then doing the same on the other side, building up the undercarriage bay. And then they're telling you, hold each wing down on a flat surface whilst the glue dries to ensure that the bottom surface up the spar is straight. So do that and then run your Tamiya extra thin. If you are new to the hobby, be very, very careful, because they're telling you there, hold each wing down on a flat surface. It's going to have dihedral, so you don't want to hold both wings down at the same time. But also, when you do hold one wing down and put the glue, make sure your glue stays away from anywhere where there's a hole, because if you've got it down on the bench and you apply your sort of Tamiya extra thin glues like this, when you put the glue in, if there's a hole, it's going to capillary under the surface and ruin the surface on the wing. Building up some spars here, not spars, ribs, sorry, and then we got our ammunition bays there with all the bullets being painted. Adding all those ribs in there, adding in the ammunition bays, the side of the ammunition bay wall. We've got some sort of ducting going in there, some more ducting going in there. It's all beautifully coming together. And then here we've got a landing light going in. That's what that was for then. So they're telling you to remove that on the other side because you've only got one landing light on this version of aircraft. Putting some guns in. We've got the mechanism for the gun there, which is loading the bullets in, and they're telling you only fit when building the gun bay open. And I love it when they do things like this. The reason they've done that, they could have easily made it too small, so you could fit the gun bay down on top of it, but then when you have the gun bay open, you would have an underscale gun. So what they've done, they've made it correct, so it's the right size. The reason you can't fit the gun door over it is because the gun door in reality would be like a piece of 0.5 aluminium, and 0.5 aluminium in 24th scale would be a 24th of 0.5, which is small. So there's no way. Could be you could carve away the plastic and probably get away with it, but give it a go. And then here you're building up the machine guns again. You've got this mechanism on the top. Don't fit that if you fit in the gun bay doors in the closed position. And then here telling us more guns going in. This is the other side, and all going in. And then we've got doors on the bottom with the ejector chute covers for the shells. So you can leave them off or have them closed. Then we're going to add the fuselage down onto the wing. Notice here the joint is not on the corner. A lot of Airfix kits, a lot of Spitfire kits have the joint like that, and then you've got this horrible sharp edge to deal with. They've actually moved that away from that sharp edge. Well done, Airfix, great design work. Gun doors going on. You've got the different options here for your different options. Be very, very careful which ones you use. And then again, the same on the other side, and then you're going to fit your wing tops on. Loving the way they're doing that. So you fit you fit this into the bottom of the fuselage, then you fit your wing tops on, and then you can concentrate on that seam, which is probably the most important seam on the aircraft. Building up our radiators, are they oil coolers or water coolers? I'm not sure. Building up our radiators anyway with the scoops going underneath the wings. They're all labelled on the inside, so you've got port and starboard labelled here, and the arrows to show facing up, because they look very, very similar, but they are completely different shapes. They will not interchange. Wingtips going on, so you've got the standard wingtip there, and then we've got the chop wing there. So if you're doing the French version, you're going to use them. Every other version is going to use those. Notice as well, these are clear, so you can paint the wing, but leave the end, just the clear part. Here you've got clear parts going in, so very interesting. Now, this is interesting. They're giving us the option you don't have to build the whole engine. So if you're going to glue your cowling up and everything, what they're telling you to do is work from 115 to 135. Okay, so that's 115 to 135, which is here. Okay, so you're going to build your engine up, just a dummy engine, and then fit your cowling over the front. If you're going to have a detailed engine with the cowlings removed to expose, or have your cowlings removable to expose a fully detailed engine, I'm sure they'll fit. Then you go from 136 onwards. You can see 136 is starting here with the assembly of the engine block, as is 115. So, building the engine up here, using the engine as a dummy to build up the engine mounting frame, or the engine bearer. Then you're going to fit the bearer into the bulkhead, building up the gearbox, going on the back of the engine. You've got the supercharger intake, and they're telling you here to cut that area in green off if you're going for this option, because you're going to slide the engine cover over the top. So you're going to cut that off. But if you are actually building it with the engine exposed, don't do that. Perhaps even if you know you're going to build it exposed, perhaps sellotape these two pages together, and then you know you won't make a mistake. If you put the model down and pick it up in 6 months or something, you know you won't make that mistake and go and cut that part off and then think, oh no, I shouldn't have cut it off. So, that's that there. So if you're going to have your engine built up, we're going to go here, we're going to build the block up, build up the cylinder heads. We've got Rolls-Royce on there, which is optional, and then we've got the intake manifolds going in there, and then building up the gearbox, fitting that onto the back, fitting the gear reduction unit on the front, and then we've got the expansion tank going on the top, Main spline shaft going in there, do not glue, so you have a spinning propeller. You've got the supercharger intercooler there, supercharger going on there, and then we've got this is supercharger ducting all going in together, fitting all pipework and everything. And then coming over the page, fitting all the detail, we've got the ignition conduits there, got the magnetos and everything. More ignition conduits going in the top because it's a double system. That's going to be an oil pump of some sort going on the side there, or hydraulic pump should I say. And then we've got lots of detail then going into the bulkhead again. Amazing colour call outs for it and everything. This is the longest instructions I've ever done, but nobody else has covered the instructions like this. And then it's telling you to use the engine as a dummy to build up your bearer frames. What I thought was probably build the engine up as a block, sort of get to here perhaps, and then use it as a dummy, because otherwise you'll have all these little bits and pieces that will get scratched, broken, whatever. So building up your bearers there, fitting in those pipes. I think they're copper, yes they are, and then they're going in the bottom. It looks like a very, very well detailed engine, really nice. And then you've got all the pipework going in here for the sides. You've got tanks and stuff going in, adding the bearers in there, more pipework, and then dropping the engine in. Really nicely done. More pipework. Don't forget, clean your seams up, it'll look absolutely gorgeous. And then coming down to here, I think this is the oil tank, is it? I'm not sure, I can't remember now, but that's basically going in there. All very nicely done, multi-parts. You'll have all the rivet detail on there, and then you're going to add the little firewall on the front, be going behind the spinner. And we've got the side frames going in for mounting the engine cowlings too, and then we've got some wing fillets going in there on either side. Supercharged, pre-supercharged cooler intake, I'm guessing, is that? Or is that some kind of radiator in there? So you've got the option of having it with or without. So you've got the long and the short. We've got the belly pans going on here. Not quite sure where they've made those in split halves. I'm sure it'll become obvious when we look at the moulding, but nobody else ever does that. And they seem to have a seam up the middle. I'm not sure there should be a seam up the middle. Anyway, we'll look at that. It's just gluing two halves together and then dealing with a seam. It's not the end of the world, it's not difficult. And then you've got a separate intake piece going over the front. Adding on the cowlings, I'm sure these can be left loose. It shows them going on, so obviously they've made the engine so you can actually fit the cowlings. Unlike some other kits, you have the choice of having them fitting or not. So you can have the engine exposed or not. Sorry, you can have the engine exposed or don't have an engine. It looks like with this you can have a fully detailed engine and then fit the cowlings. So some tricky work with a bit of magnet, a few magnets or whatever, and it should be looking good. Building up some exhaust outtakes, exhausts there. So they're going on the side. They've done that beautifully. You've got a separate piece going in the back to give you the hollow look out of them. So that's going to be really nice. It looks like they probably do with a bit more hollowing, but we shall see. Flaps going in. Flaps in the up position, so the pilot's indicator thing will be shut, and then with the flaps open you'll have the pilot's indicator thing there open, the little indicator sticking out. And then we've got our ailerons going together. It looks like they do have positionable ailerons, so you can have them messing around. Adding in your cannons there into your wings, no doubt there'll be brass ones of those available within 2 minutes. And then we've got here the system for building the undercarriage in the up position, so if you want to build it as a flying model, I don't think there's a stand included, so you have to get a stand or make your own. So you're going to build up the wheels there into the undercarriage legs, and then just have half a wheel in there, obviously again for scale, because of the scale thickness of everything, which is a really nice touch. So they've done that, so you've got the wheel backs and the tyres, and then you're going to add these fillet pieces in there and then glue the doors over. And then if you're having the undercarriage down, we have a choice of 3 wheels, and they're giving you all the different options there, A, E, B, C and D. And then you're building up your undercarriage legs with the oleos. They look very nice indeed. Building up the wheels with the tyres, got your different types of wheels there, and then building up the other side, building up the wheels on that side. And then you've got a actuator mechanism going inside there on both sides. And then you've got the undercarriage legs going in each side, fitting in that little fillet piece in there, fitting the wheels, and then fitting the doors. We're nearly there, guys. Tail wheel, it looks like the tail wheel is flat spotted, which is a nice touch. And then you're fitting the tail wheel, whether the undercarriage is up or down, it's not going to be changing because it doesn't have a retracting tail wheel. You've got the marker light, a marker light underneath there, or friend or foe, whatever. And then we've got the gun sight going on there, and then an optional gun sight there. So that's for one option, and that's for all the others. Fitting the gun sight down into there, fitting the antenna onto the back, and then you've got a clear little nav light going in there. And then you've got the mirror, which has probably come off an MG sports car or something. And then this is actually a lovely bit here. Not possible to make the true bowl shape of the Spitfire canopy without having a seam line through the centre. It should be possible to polish out the seam line, but if preferred, they've included an alternative canopy which is less bulged but has no seam line. So if you are a new modeler, or you're scared of polishing or whatever, then you can just use that one, but I would really suggest giving that a go. And when I build this, which I will show you how to do it. And it'd be really, really fun removing that seam line, because it's great. So here we have, has my camera just switched off? No, it hasn't. I don't know what's going on here. Here we have the canopy going on, so you've got the choice of having it open or closed. What is very interesting, it's one canopy now, and it's one fuselage. Now if you remember, like with the Tamiya Corsair, they've actually made a reduced size aft cockpit area, so you can have an open canopy and have it all scale. So obviously this canopy is very, very close to scale thickness, which is a really nice touch. So you can have the door open, door closed, canopy closed. There we go. That's the one I'd go for, I think. And then here we're building up the prop. Beautiful four-bladed propeller. You've got separate little fillet pieces in there, which is nice because generally kit manufacturers get sink marks in them if they don't do that. And then you've got the hub going together there. You've got the front of the hub going on, and then you're going to add the hub to the back plate of the spinner, and then add your spinner, and then all of a sudden we're done. That's it. So that's it. I'm going to have a drink. Okay, so moving forward for the next 10 minutes, let's have a look at these colour call-outs. So we have, as I say, we have 5 options in this kit, which is pretty cool. So this one is option A. So try and get rid of any glossiness. So this is ML214, flown by Squadron Leader Johnny Plagis, number 126, I'm sorry if I've ruined your name, number 126, Persian Gulf Squadron, Royal Air Force, Harrowmere, Devon, England, July 1944, with options for June and December 44. So this is actually a beautiful aircraft in the grey and green with the invasion stripes, and you've got the sort of half the stripe going over the tail there, which is really nice. They're giving you all the talking here. They're talking about research notes. Black white invasion stripes on 126 Squadron aircraft appear to have been non-standard width of around 10 inches, which was repeated on the wings. It's unsure whether ML214 wore invasion stripes on the upper wing. Photos from the period show other 126 Squadron with overwing stripes, so the choice is down to the modeler. So I think what Airfix have done, they've really done a great job of covering their backs here, because, you know, I mean, it's like talking about Bismarck turrets and the colour that they were as she sank. You know, they weren't yellow, they were yellow. They were red. No, they weren't. They were dark grey. It's, oh God. And there's so many people with so many different pieces of archive that proves it one way or another. Well, they can't all be right, you know, and they might all be wrong. Who knows? But you've got all this information here, and they're giving it all, which is really, really nice. And they're telling us the width and everything that the band's going to be. So beautifully done. Colour call outs there. And we have a letter there to show the, I think that's the squadron, isn't it? No, it's the code for the aircraft, of course it is. So, looking over the page here, this is EN398, flown by Flight Lieutenant Ian Kelty, number 402 Squadron, City of Winnipeg, Royal Air Force, Kenley, Surrey, England, March 1943. So again, some research notes there. Really, really nice. We've got a Popeye on the side. You see Popeye there on the side of the fuselage, which is a nice touch. And you can read those research notes there. If I hold it still, you can freeze frame and have a read of that. So there we are. So that's options A and B. And then we've got options. It's great they've got all these different options, isn't it, in one kit? That's really great. Got your money's worth with this kit. I mean, it's less than £100. It's I think the retail's about 95 quid. I think I paid, like I said, about 80, I think. EN398, flown by Wing Commander James Edgar Johnny Johnson, number 402 Squadron, City of Winnipeg, Royal Air Force, Kenley, Surrey, England, summer 43. Again, we have research notes on here. I know for a fact that this question mark here, nobody knows, was the Canadian crescent, was it red or was it green? Sorry, maple leaf, not crescent, what we're talking about. Was it red or was it green? So they give you both. But again, you've got the colour call-outs here. No invasion stripes on this one, you just got the band. So very, very nice to see. Just a sort of plain scheme. And the wing leading edges here are yellow, which is a really nice touch, looks lovely. So very nice indeed. And then oh, this is my favourite. Version D, I love these blue bottomed, you know, two brown tone aircraft. The only reason is, it's not because, I mean, I grew up in America. I remember my father, God rest his soul, used to love building model aircraft, and I used to watch and not be allowed to touch. And he built a Spitfire in these colours, and I just thought it looked so good. I'm not a massive fan, I have to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of the grey green. I love the brown and green, but I'm not a massive fan of the grey green. So I think I will probably build this as that one. But who knows. But just to show you what sort of fan I am of this colour scheme, this is the Tamiya one I'm working on. And there we go. And I love that azure blue underneath. It's really, really nice. Great colour. But yeah, I need to get the stencils done on this, get it flat coated, weathered, and it's done. So get on with that. You can see the engine detail in there. So this is thought to be one of the best kits ever made. At its time, it was supposed to be the best injection molded kit ever. We'll see how good this one is, but I think Tamiya could have some competition on their hands here. Yes, I said that. I think Tamiya could have some competition on their hands with Airfix. This is a proper modern Airfix kit. It's bloody awesome. So they're giving you the colour mix-ups here. I actually mixed all those colours on mine as well. So that azure blue I made up. I can't remember what I made it up from now. I usually write it on the bottle. I didn't on this one, but there you go, azure blue. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, it's a lovely, lovely bright blue colour, as you can see. So, and don't worry, it's shiny, it's gloss coated for the decals because it's got stencils to go on. So this is that version. This is Captain Garth Jarrett, Commanding Officer, 309 Squadron, or 309th Squadron, Fighter Squadron, 31st Fighter Group, United States Army Air Force, Italy, December 43. So very, very nice. It's got Eleanor on the side there, which, you know, I'm a big Mustang fan, so if it's got Eleanor, that's another reason to do it. And we got some more research notes there, which you can read. You can freeze frame and have a read of those. This is what I do. Like RAF roundels were usually overpainted in fresh camouflage colours. Dimensions are provided for the modeller to cut masks. I've got a feeling they were sort of really roughly painted over. I don't think they would be perfect circles, but it would have been like a British aircraft, or even perhaps had wing roundels like this, you know. And then underneath, when you look at it, you've got both. So they've painted over that one, and then they've painted over that one and put that one in its place. So worth having a look. Do your research, because there are some variations, but these are actually aftermarket decals on that one. So there we go. So basically you're going to have a faded paint there, and then fresh azure blue paint there, and the same here. You have the faded brown and then fresh brown there. So that's that one there, and then we've had a look at that one, haven't we? And then the final one is this beautiful little chopped wing baby here, and that is is that Group 2? GR, I'm not sure what GR is. 233 Savoie Armée de l'Air Légion Les Bains. I have just messed that completely up. Never mind. France, early 1945. Again, we have research notes on here. You know, this is just incredible what you're getting. These research notes, they're absolutely amazing. And they're telling you about the grey-green tail band. You've got a lovely yellow colour there. If you want to build a bright and colourful model, this is the one to go for, because you've got, you know, you've got these eyes on here. You've got that beautiful tail flashing on there. You've got the yellow stripes everywhere. Really, really nice. And that beautiful red spinner. And that red colour there is a Mr. Hobby colour which matches it perfectly. So that's what I've used on mine. But there we go. So that's the clip wing version. Very, very nice indeed. Again, you've got to mask out the old colours there, the old roundels. And then here we've got location of common stencil data. So not too many, but enough on there to make it interesting. And we've got walkway lines on there. Probably paint those on and then mask them before you do your camouflage, rather than use decals for them. They're always a nightmare to get dead straight. Anyway, so there we go. So that's our colour call outs. So here we go, decals. They got a name on them somewhere. Where is it? Oh, it doesn't say. It doesn't say printed by Cartograph, but we know on the box they're printed by Cartograph, so that's it. Enough said, job done. You can see on here we have, all across the top, we have some beautiful little cockpit placards, instrument panels, instrument dials, more placards, all the way across the top. Really, really nice. And then underneath there, going across, we've got trestles, marks, and stencils and all sorts there going on. Beautiful. Wing roundels, you probably want to get masks and paint them for something this scale, but then if they're Cartograph they will go down beautifully. Tail fin flashes there, and then we've got the green maple leaf there and the red maple leaf there. If you're going for the Johnny Johnson, we've got Popeye there, and then we've got the underwing markings here. We've got all the codes all done in separate yeah, they're all in separate decals, none of them are joined up, so that's good. And then we've got the stars and bars there. We've got the yeah, they're all separate as well. And you can see here, if I can catch it in the light, that is why I don't like having decals just chucked to the bottom of the box. Look, that's the damage you get on them, and that could have easily have gone through. So, and it's annoying because that's the ones I want to use as well. In fact, there is a bit of damage on that one there, but never mind, it's going to be weathered anyway. But I wish manufacturers would put the decals in a bag, face down in the bottom of the box, or even put them on the top of the box. But and don't do what Bandai do. I got a Bandai kit, they put the decals in the middle of the box, and then the plastic went through them. Yeah. So there we've got the French markings there, and the French codes and the French roundels, and then we've got some markings there for something or other. I didn't catch what that was for. But very, very nice indeed, and that's going to be for the version I want to do, the nameplate on the side. So, Major GB Jared, hey, how you doing? And we got ST Sergeant Colonel Finesci. These are going to be his ground crew, I'm guessing. So, yeah, really, really cool. So, beautiful decal sheet, beautifully, beautifully done, and really, really nice. So we shall see how those decals come out, those letters. I may be asking somebody if they're building one of these and they're not using the American decals, if they could send them to me, because that does look damaged there. Anyway, so that's that. I want to get this out of the way. Let's have a look at these, because these look very nice indeed. I want to get them out of the way, and then I can take the bag up and put them back in the box, all nice and safe. In fact, I'll put them in a jiffy bag, I think. Here we have our clear parts, and they are gorgeous. Little bit scratched. I'm not gonna cover up. They are a little bit scratched because they've been put in the middle of the bag, middle of the box. But where else were they going to put them? In my case, if they put them on the top, they probably would have been broken. But you can see on this one we have a seam line, and they have moulded in the bulge beautifully on there. And then this is the one without the seam line, because they haven't quite got the bulge right. You can see that this, because of its shape, look at end on, because of its shape it needed a 2/2 mould because it wouldn't have come out. Whereas with this one, they've managed to get it out because they haven't put such a big bulge in there. But that's more accurate than that one, but that one's easier to use. So we'll use that one and we'll polish that out. And as seam lines go, that is quite an amazingly tiny seam line. You could almost leave it there. It's absolutely tiny. But very, very nice clear parts. Very slight amount of distortion, which is you'd expect. I would imagine the real thing would have some distortion. But I just want to get something to put underneath it to have a look so we can see how clear it is. And we can see there when we look through. It's pretty good, especially for something that shape. And then when we look at the windscreen, you can see there looking through the windscreen, beautifully clear, no distortion, really nicely done. And then you've got the little clear part that goes behind the cockpit. Yeah. Best clear parts I've ever seen from Airfix, I think. Funny that it's all made in the UK, isn't it? That's waiting to break off there, so that's going to break off and scratch everything, as is that one there. So if yours are loose like mine, get them off and throw them away, because all they're going to do is turn around and scratch. But and then you can see on here we've got the instrument panels. There's the one that my finger's behind with the dials, and then that one there without. Wing tips for the chop wing version, and then some other bits and pieces. You've got there's your light bulbs there for the cockpit, spare ones. It's lovely. It's lovely, see? It's beautiful, isn't it? Very nice clear parts. Right, let's have a look at some grey plastic. Time to start looking at some grey plastic, and boy oh boy is it nice. So here we are. I'll do this as it came out of the box. So this is obviously the lower wing section, and looking at this, it has stress skin effect and some of the most beautiful riveting I've seen. And all the fasteners and everything are absolutely gorgeous. So when this is painted and then washed with something like a flory wash or an oil wash, it is going to look absolutely incredible, and people can really go to town. So obviously a one-piece lower wing section, which is really nice, which is pretty common on Spitfires, to be honest. And we have the stress skin effect. I'm just looking here, I can see some circles, and it looks like we have some sink marks or sort of variation in plastic thickness rather than sink marks around these cutouts here, whatever they may be for. I'm assuming there's some sort of light. So there we go. And you can see, if you look at the texture, I don't know if you can see it there, there is like a circular mark in the plastic. But because we have this stress skin effect, as you can see on there, if I move it around you should be able to pick it up. There you go. It's very, very subtle. It's absolutely beautiful, and the rivet fastener detail is nothing short of stunning. Really is nice. And also the way they've done this lower wing, so the way it goes into the fuselage, rather than having it butting up to the fuselage and then this is your finished edge, the finished edge is going to be out here somewhere. So that's really nice. And yeah, you can see the access panels in the lower wing there. Beautifully done. All there's raised and recessed riveting. Sorry, there's raised and recessed detail, but all the riveting is recessed. Now, I did mention in one of the videos talking about this many yonks ago about the riveting detail, and I thought they were always positive riveting, like positive rivets, but apparently the Mark 9 was flush riveted, so this is all pretty much correct. So very, very nice indeed. Obviously we've got one of these landing light things here to be cut away, or what a formation light, whatever it is, but I'm not sure what they are. I don't remember seeing those in the instructions, but there's some sort of landing light I can imagine, or some sort of formation light or whatever for a certain specification. So here we have the upper wings and the main spar, and that main spar is going to be great to help you get everything aligned, because when it's sandwiched and it's, you know, fitted between two surfaces, it's going to be extremely strong. It's like a big I-beam. But again, we've got these beautiful upper wing surfaces, again with a very slight stress skin on there. They have really listened to the modelers here, Airfix. They have, a lot of people moan that the skin on the Hellcat was overdone. People moan that the skin on the Lancaster is overdone. I'm happy with both of them, but this is exquisite. I don't even know if I can show you this, it's so subtle, but there is there you go. If I catch it in light there, you can just see it on the edge of these panels. You can just see it catching the light. If I move the light sideways, there we go, that's better. So you can see it there now. It's very, very slightly done. So yeah, it's going to look absolutely incredible with a, you know, pre-shading, dry brushing, whatever your choice. It's going to look absolutely stunning. And then we've got the wheel well detail in there. You can see for the roof of the wheel bay. Let's Put the light back horizontal again. Whoops, not the camera, sorry. You can see that detail in there is nothing short of gorgeous. Really, really nice indeed. So yeah, and all this detail on here is lovely, for the gun bays and that. So well done, Airfix. Another job, good design, well executed. So we've got the engine cover there, and we have all the fastener detail on the back, and we've got the inspection hatches. This is obviously slide molded, so we should have a seam along here, and there is, but honestly, wow. Whatever company used to make this tooling, Airfix, use them again, because they are very, very good. I mean, you can just see a seam line there, just in front of my thumb. Just as you're looking, just above that circular panel, that's a mold seam. I don't even think the camera's going to pick it up. We've got the same on that side. It's incredible. Really, I mean, the only bit of it you can actually see is there. You can just see a seam. There you are, you can just see it now on there. But excuse my nails, guys, they're disgusting. But yeah, ejector pin marks in the bottom. You want to fill them up, you can have it displayed that way up. But why would you display it that way up? Lovely. Beautiful riveting and stuff. Really, really nice. Here is the bit you've all been waiting for. The fuselage. And it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. Got interior rib detail in here, which is probably not actually accurate, but it's there for something to see when you look down inside. Looks like you have an option to have this panel open here. I don't remember seeing that in the instructions. If you could actually cut that out to reveal the... I don't think they give you an option, so it may be... No, there is no option. But you could actually cut it out because you want to, because there is gear there, so you could actually cut that panel out if you want to, even though they don't tell you to in the instructions. But I can only imagine they're planning on a photo reconnaissance version, if that's... Because I think they put a camera in there, didn't they? I could be wrong. I normally am. But yeah, beautifully done. Again, we've got that stress skin effect on the fuselage, and all the lovely, you can see the stress skin effect on there, and all the lovely recessed riveting. They have recessed riveting going all the way along the top there, right up to the edge. And this is not slide molded, so it's going to need sort of redoing just to sharpen it up, because it can only go like that way because it's not slide molded. But you're on a seam anyway, so whatever you do, you're going to be losing something. You have to redo it. But it is beautifully done. And as you can see down here, as I was talking about, the actual edge of the wing goes inside. So that edge there, you don't actually have to do anything with. You've got some marking here, you can see on the front there, that's just the plastic flow, that's nothing to worry about. That won't show at all under a coat of paint. And the detail inside on the cockpit, you can see we've got some lovely riveting detail in there, up around this area. Very nicely done, same on that side. No ejector pin marks in this area here. There's one there, which I don't know if it's going to be visible or not, maybe the radio or battery, whatever it is, will hide it. If not, it's very shallow. Drop a super glue, sand it out. But yeah, very, very nice indeed. Just makes you want to start cutting it. What I will actually say is when you start talking about cutting, no, we'll do it on another sprue. The plastic looks very much like border models, which makes me very happy, because you all know I absolutely love border models plastic. It's certainly not the normal soft blue stuff. It's lovely. So we've got a couple of sprues in here. Excuse me. So this one is sprue F. You see by that they've pinched Bandai's idea here. We've got a great big F, so you're not hunting around forever trying to find a little faint F mark somewhere. But very, very nicely done. Like nice rectangular frame, so it holds everything, and there's no parts loose that I can see. So we've got a lovely wing ribs there. This is the interior for our wheel bays. which are nicely done. We've got some rivet detail in there. We've got bullets there for our ammunition. Some more wing ribs here, more wing ribs on this end. We've got lovely detail. I'll give you a close-up now. And then this is the where the ailerons, or I think the flaps, go. Machine guns there, which are beautifully done. They're not drilled on the end. You'll have to drill them out, but I'm not even sure if they're going to be visible. And then again, we've got the cannons here. We've got some ducting there, some tubing, and then we've got the loading, the motors there that wind the bullets into the guns, and they've got the actuators there for the undercarriage bays. And then is that pedals there? Or is that, no, that's ammunition in that, I think. Not quite sure what that is. But you can see on there, all nicely done, and it looks like Airfix again have thoughtfully got everything that's in the wing on one sprue, so you're not like Trumpeter often do. You know, you get one section of the instructions and it's like 7 different sprues you got to find, whereas it looks like this is all like they did with the Hellcat, so beautifully thought out. But you can see on there we've got the inside of the wheelbase. You can see we've got rivet detail in there. Let's get this light a bit better. Rivet detail inside there, so that's all nice, beautifully done. And then we've got rivet detail here on the ribs that you're going to see inside the machine gun bays and everything. And then the guns are looking lovely. The guns and the cannons there, they look beautifully detailed. Very, very nice. Put that up there out of the way. And then here we have a sprue of wingtips and control surfaces and ailerons and gun covers and all sorts. All very nicely done indeed. We've got the radiators there. Beautifully done. We've got the cannons. The cannons are in halves, so you'll have a seam to deal with on them, but no doubt you'll be using brass aftermarket anyway. But if you do, it's gluing 2 halves together, cleaning up a seam. It's not difficult. But yeah, we've got the ailerons here, which are beautiful. And then we've got flaps here with the internal flap detail there. No ejector pin marks, take note. And then we've got some more. Is that parts? Yeah, that's the underside of the ailerons there, look. You can see the detail now. We've got the radiators there, which are beautiful. Boxes that the radiators are going to go in. Gun covers, different options there, wingtips. But yeah, it's just gorgeous. Look at the surface detail on here is absolutely amazing. This is Airfix, like, just gone up to a AAA. It's like they're unbelievably good. Really, really nice. I mean, the detail on those panels is exquisite. Look at it. Can you imagine that with a wash? I just hope it all fits together as beautiful as it all looks. I'm sure it will. But, it's gorgeous. Very, very nice indeed. If you are watching this Airfix, you have done an amazing job. Packaging's good too. Well done to the packaging people in the UK. Box could have been a bit thicker, but hey ho. Didn't have something to moan about, eh? Can't give it a 10 out of 10 surely. So here we have sprue J, and we have undercarriage legs. So we've got undercarriage legs up, undercarriage legs down by the look of it. And then we've got tail wheel there, and we've got 3 different options of wheels. So we've got the 5 slots, the 4 slots, and the solid. And then we've got that engine firewall there, which as you can see is beautifully done with loads and loads of detail. Again, no ejector pin marks, they're on the back. More cannons, so obviously different cannons. Undercarriage doors, are there ejector pin marks in the back? Yes, but they're behind the undercarriage legs. So that's really good. Got tyres here, flat spotted. And we've got Dunlop on the tyres, fair play. So that's really nice. I'm assuming that's the tail wheel there. Yeah, because it's flat spotted on the bottom. Not quite sure what those are. Those backs of the wheels, I'm guessing. But, more panels there. Not sure what they're for, but they're absolutely gorgeous. Arrow on there to show it's going up or forwards. You can See again on those panels there, beautiful, beautiful surface detail. Undercarriage legs are gorgeous and they look very strong as well. If you're really worried about the strength, drill down through there, put a piece of brass inside. I'm sure they'd be absolutely fine as they are. Lovely, lovely jubbly. And then here we have, this is sprue D. And here we've got some more interior parts. So here's our cockpit sidewalls. We've got the base of the cockpit there. It's got some beautiful, very sharp detail, which is going to take a wash lovely. We've got the bulkhead there that the pilot's feet are going to go into. And then we've got the bulkhead there that the instrument panel goes on. There's the bulkhead behind the pilot, the seat mounts. And then we've got the bulkheads there going for the formers, should I say, going back. We've got the sides of the seat with the lowering and raising mechanism. Oxygen pipe there, which is beautifully done. Economizer, that was the word I was thinking of in the instructions, or couldn't think of. We've got oxygen tanks there, we've got control levers here. There's the belts, they're lovely. We'll get a good close look up at this in a minute. Oh my god, the control column is gorgeous. Control column has got all the pipes moulded separately, and then you add the control column to it. Then we've got the lever for the side of the seat there. All the control levers, we've got the that's for the flares going across the front of the seat by the look of it. Very, very nice indeed. So just have a look at that. Very nicely done. You can see there's the belts, and we can see that they're really they're quite thin. So we should have no trouble with those at all. We've got the seats there. Side of the seats. Oxygen pipe there, which is beautifully done. And we've got the base of the seat, or the seat back, sorry, there. And then the base of the seat is here, with the detail underneath. And no ejector pin marks on the inside, and they correctly got that shape inside as well. All this beautiful, they've got the detail there for the rudder pedals. And we've got some pipe work on that box there. It is absolutely gorgeous. And that main seat belt there, the main harness. I think with a coat of paint, dry brush silver over those eyelets, they'll look absolutely lovely. Or brass, is it? I can't remember now. Absolutely gorgeous. Really, really nice. Back of the instrument panel there. Beautifully done. I like it. The penultimate bag here looks like we've got an engine sprue. So kick this one out, put that one up there. So we've got an engine sprue here, this is sprue K. So this is beautifully done. We've got our rocker covers there with Rolls-Royce plaques on them. You can take them off if you want to, because not all of them had it. Engine bearers, moulded in one, which is nice. You don't have to fiddle around. We've got ignition looms there. Beautifully done. More ignition looms there. So that's your secondary, that's your main. And then got the sump, cylinder heads, cylinder block, intercooler, header tank, reduction gear, gearbox on the back of the engine. All our exhaust there. Got some sort of plenum chamber there with pipework coming out of it. Another unit there with pipework coming out of it. Very, very nicely done indeed. The exhausts have a weld seam, but they've put a sprue connector on it, so that's a bit strange. So probably best to just sand that off. I'll show you how I do it when I build it, and then put some sprue on there. But yeah, inlet manifold there were part of it. Very, very nice indeed. Look at the detail on the engine. Absolutely gorgeous. And those bearers. Very nicely done. There's the sump and the rocker covers. Supercharger. Or intercooler, should I say. Reduction gear on there. There's all your exhausts. You can see the ends, rather than slide mold them, they've made the ends sort of as a open, and then you've got a separate piece here which is going to glue on, if you remember that from the instructions. We've got all the supercharger bits and pieces over here, intakes and that. pipe work, ignition looms, copper piping, really nice, very, very nice. Control surfaces, so we've got fabric rudder and fabric elevators. Looks like we have options for different elevators, so we'll have a look in that. We've got options for different tailplanes as well, so I don't remember seeing that in instructions, but obviously certain versions have different ones. So you've got this type here with the chamfered cut off at the end, and then this type here has just got the end. So this one's for the chamfered one like that, and then this one is just for those there. So, but again, gorgeous surface detail. The fabric is done really nicely. I'm thinking that one's metal and that one's fabric. I have to do some research. We can see on there we've got beautiful surface detail, which again is going to take a wash. Lovely. Very, very nicely done indeed. And then here, final sprue, we have propellers and spinners and all sorts of stuff. Lovely stuff. So this one is obviously got the engine side covers here. We have some ejector pin marks on the inside if you're going to display them. Nothing much to fill them. And we've got propeller blades with the separate sections for the bottom rather than get a sink mark. So I'm happy with that. The spinner looks gorgeous. Nice shape as well. Got the hub there. Intake, intercooler. If it is an intercooler, I'm not sure what it is. And there's the long one there. You've got the short intake there. You've got the long intake there. Engine side covers, and then we've got the belly here with the long and the short intake. So yeah, very nice indeed. As I say, I don't really know why they've made this in two pieces, because I don't think, certainly one of them, that one doesn't seem to have a seam. It doesn't matter, it just means a bit of sanding. It's you know, it's fine. But I don't know why they've made it in two pieces when they could have made it in one. Very strange. There's obviously a reason for it. And it probably is, yeah. So it could be that everyone else has made these are incorrect and Airfix have got it right. It could be because of the shape here. If you look, that shape has a return on it. Okay, so it goes along, up, and then goes in, and then comes around. So if we look at the Tamiya one, which is moulded in one, I'll bet it's straight down. That's what it'll have to be, because otherwise it won't come out of the moulds. Unless they've slide moulded it. But slide moulding, as we know, is very expensive. So that's why Airfix have done that. So fair play to them. And you can see it on the side of the intake there. It sort of goes around and cuts in. Okay, so that's why they've done it in two halves. So they've really, really gone to town with their research. And rather than make it one piece to make it easier for us, they've made it two to get it accurate. So big thumbs up there for Airfix. So yeah, and those side mount, those side frames for the engines are gorgeous. They are really, really nice. So yeah, all in all, absolutely beautiful. And that, my friends, you'll be pleased to know, is that. I think I'm going to call this mega review, because I think this is one of the longest reviews I've ever done. But it is a hell of a kit. So that is it. The Spitfire Mk.IXc from Airfix in 1/24 scale. Just look at that. That's the best angle, isn't it, for a Spitfire? Look at that one there. Absolutely stunning. But there's all your different options again. As I say, I think I might go for that one. However, I do love invasion stripes. So we shall see. It could be, it's going to be option A or option D. We shall see. But very, very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed that. Just in case you're wondering, at the moment, as an out-of-the-box review, I would give this kit, from what I've seen, I would give it 9.8 out of 10. And the only reason I'm taking away 0.2 is because the thin floppy box. And mine, okay, my kit isn't damaged, but if I bought this for, you know, a friend for Christmas Day or something, you know, it would be nicer to have it all nice and straight and everything. And I think if they'd stuck with their original thick cardboard that they always used to use, it would have been okay. I think it would have weathered the storm. But anyway, Beautiful model. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that. Any questions or anything, pop them in the comments below. And yeah, I'm not an aficionado of all things Spitfire, but I know a little bit. I think I know enough to get me by. So this is a kit I'm going to build. I am going to build this online. The KT is finished, so I pretty much want to get on this. I think it's gorgeous. I need to get my Lancaster done as well. Anyway, I will see you all very soon. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe. If you've liked this video, please hit the like and hit the notifications bell, and you will get notifications of other videos coming up. I am actually currently, there's a video series going out on the Airfix K2 ambulance in 1/35th scale. Part 2 just went out yesterday. That model is now finished, so I'm sort of working behind times. So I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.